Again, we are going to talk about the mechanism of action of drugs, the antiretroviral drugs, HIV drugs, and we had talked about 6 categories of antiretroviral drugs. And I had talked about the first class, which is nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors. And now I'm going to talk about its mechanism of action, and I'm going to start with its pharmacokinetic. Pharmacokinetics is what the body does to the drug. When we give drug through the mouth, orally, we give drug through IV, intramuscular, IM. What does the body do to that drug? And when we talk about pharmacokinetic, we must talk about the 4 cardinal things of pharmacokinetics in the body, which are summarized in these 3 letters, ADME, ADME. The first A meaning absorption, but we cannot talk about absorption unless we talk about the drug administration, the route at which the drug is given. These drugs, nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, are given orally, and when we talk about absorption, they are widely absorbed, they are adequately absorbed. And we also talk about distribution. D means distribution. They are widely distributed, and even after administration, they are found in the cerebrospinal fluid and also in the brain. And we also talk about metabolism. M means metabolism. But before we talk about metabolism, we are going to talk about elimination, because their metabolism depends on each drug. They are all metabolized in one place, but they depend on which drug. So elimination is basically in the renal elimination in different places of the nephron. There are those eliminated in the distal convoluted tubule. There are those that are eliminated in the other tubule, renal tubules. And when we talk about elimination, we must consider that if the patient has renal dysfunction, then we need to avoid it, or we need to adjust the drug. And we also consider the drugs that are eliminated by renal. Then we expect, if the patient is having a problem or does not have problem, then we expect that the first drugs that are not given concomitant with other nephrotoxicity, because they are going to interfere with the kidney. Then when we talk about metabolism, we talk about metabolism. Some drugs pass through the first pass effect in the liver, and they are metabolized. Others are converted to their active metabolite. And for example, we talk about zidovudine. Zidovudine is cleared in the renal tubule. We talk about lamivudine. Lamivudine is also in the renal tubules, and that is about the pharmacokinetic of antiretroviral drugs, nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors. And when we talk about pharmacodynamic, it is what the drug does to the body. And basically, I've already talked about it. When we talk about nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, we are simply talking about the process of the HIV replication, the viral replication. When the nucleoside
it binds to the nucleoside. Then it means this nucleoside, when it binds to the reverse transcriptase enzyme, the protein, then it means there is no replication going on because the transcription is inhibited. That is the mechanism of action when you talk about pharmacodynamic. Again, something else when you talk about pharmacodynamic, we talk about the use of the drug. It is basically used for most of them, they are used for HIV drugs, like HIV drugs, and they can also be given concomitant with other drugs for other viral inhibition. For example, we have human simplex virus, and we have herpes simplex virus. We have also cytomegalovirus and other viruses that are going to replicate the same as HIV virus.